The Dream by Alt J. 12
Yeah.
songs, 49 minutes long. And Alt J really made a name for themselves in the kind of dreamy indie alternative space in the early 2000s with their really kind of blow away album, An Awesome Wave, I want to say.
Yep.
You had
That came out
songs like
2012.
Breeze Blocks, Tessellate, like all those different things that made them just like staples in that early part of the 2010s. But however, times change, values don't, and they haven't really gotten that same level of mainstream acclaim since then after releasing a couple of albums since then.
Yep.
I want to say we reviewed Relaxer in 2017, like one of our really early reviews.
I believe we did. Yes.
Yeah. And it was an album with very long songs, I remember. Yeah, because it's 40 minutes long, but 8 songs. And the thing with Alt J, and Papa's about to go in again, is that there are rarely times on this podcast where and I'm a very good faith reviewer, and I've talked about how good faith reviewer I am. I try to listen to every album twice. I had to stop because it bored me. Like fundamentally, I'm like, I'm not listening to this. Like I am like, you don't understand, Alt J. I've changed since 2012. I am running missions. I am killing ops. I am securing the bag. I don't have time to sleep right now. I don't have time to listen to this shit.
The thing is like you can make a slower record, a record like a dreamy, ethereal record. We have reviewed plenty on this podcast. My favorite band is one of my favorite bands is Sigaros. That's literally all they do. You can do it, but you have to do it in a way that the song structure has a meaning to it. Like with me, example, the opening track, Bane. It's really slow and it has no meaning to it. So it sets you off on kind of a wrong foot in that way, because like the first about 3 minutes or so, it's just, you have like some slow piano ballads here or there. You have like a slow build up, but there's no real structure on that keeps you engaged. That's what I'd say.
Yeah. And that's why I kind of felt through the whole thing. I tried to listen to this album, like I said, twice, maybe almost 3 times, because I was just like so confused. Like I remember listening to Hippocampus and Snot this week, but Alt J just kept being this blur. And so I'd like focus as much as I could, tried to listen to it.
Yep.
And like, I think I listened to You and Me and I was like, okay, I kind of get what they're going for here. Good that you put your like best foot second, so to speak. If anything, it had almost this like it had this Dandy Warhols kind of chord progression. It's this thing that Dandy Warhols does in all their songs, like dun 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 dun. It's just a way of completing that sequence, and it's all perfectly fine and good. But you would need an album to stay around that pace, a little bit slower and a little bit faster, in order to complete it. Maybe it does that during the last, song 7 and below, but I didn't make it past any time. Yeah, I didn't make it past either time. I got to like Happier When You're Gone or The Actor. Yeah, I would always get through songs 4, 5, and 6, Happier When You're Gone, The Actor, and Get Better. And I'd just be like, this has just been like a 15-minute slog of like, I don't retain or remember things from these songs, like, and I know there's like a lot of emotion being poured into these things. It sucks, but the packaging sucks even more, that the fact that it's being lost.
Yeah, I mean, granted, somebody who listens to slower music, like I love post rock, I love Sigaros and a bunch of these other bands, like even some early Doves work and whatnot. They could be slower. Some Radiohead could be really ethereal and kind of airy and spacey in that way. You can get that with some earlier Spoon records, which more on that later, because there's going to be Spoon did release an album this week, but I had to push that back because there's just too much being released. But within those records, you can do it where you can make it engaging within doing slower tracks. And you can make those tracks long as hell, but they're very, very engaging because the musicality of the production, everything, it kind of wraps around a central point. It wraps around something that is engaging. With this, there's no real point to the dream. Like there's nothing where it wants you to keep you engaged in that way. Everything is just, it kind of flutters out and spirals out. And I've listened to this twice through because I wanted to give it a second chance on that. Because I first listened through, you had a couple decent songs. You had You and Me, you had Chicago. Towards the end of the album, you had Losing My Mind. Like the second half of Losing My Mind, I actually really like. I thought that was like, oh wow, that's actually like a good song and like a really good idea. The way the drums are kind of reminds me of some early beach house and stuff with that. But with that is like the rest of it is just nothingness. It's nothing that's engaging it to anybody who isn't like a fan of it necessarily. But with any normal person who doesn't have, bias to the style of music, you're not going to enjoy it. And so then I was very disappointed in. I wanted more from it, and yeah, I understand why you struggled to listen to it, because that second listen through, I sat and really went through it, and I was like, wow, this is, especially in the middle part of the record, it gets pretty bland. But there's always like little flutters of hope here or there. You have Losing My Mind. In the middle, you have Chicago, which I do like. But again, like with those things, like you have these interesting like spoken word ideas and other things which they can kind of add on to it, but they leave it like at such a flat level that's it. It's just flat. That's if you're drinking, a flat ginger ale. You're like, I don't even want to drink this. I'm gonna throw this down the drain. That's what it's like. Like, unfortunate.
Yeah. Arbitrary scale this week. We do arbitrary scales every week on Audioface because our review is our review. And so rather than give you a ranking system, let's throw in something random. This week we're doing bowling alleys in honor of DaBaby's baby mama's brother. And try saying that 5 times fast. And I'm going to give this one of those bowling simulators that you play that's virtual, where like the pins aren't even
like
real.
The Wii?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Is Wii bowling? This for me is, you go to an arcade and it's like arcade bowling. Like
that's what I was saying originally. Yeah.
It's not skee ball, but it's one of those artificial ones where you have like an artificial ball and it's like half broken because some fucking asshole kid threw it through the screen and broke it like 10 years ago, and they never fixed it because it's an arcade and who gives a fuck? It's like that.
It's Chuck E. Cheese arcade bowling.
Chuck E. Cheese scares me.
Yeah.
Traumatized by Chuck E. Cheese.
It's me, Charles Cheese. Come inside.
Hey, man. Hey, man.